Tuesday the 28th of February. This is not a trading video, just a proof of concept video as to explain what I use to enter trades. So if you go on this weekly chart, this is Adani Green, this is the Adani Green Indian equity, and this is the monthly chart. So you can see very thin run into the base. So all the negative news surrounding this stock and this company. So you can see this shelf holding the price, comes back and takes a little bit of liquidity from a little bit of pocket in here, which you cannot see on this monthly chart, and deals back above. So we come back in, this is the negative news out, and you can see some stalling in here, then very swiftly moving us down into this bit of liquidity. Now keeping in mind that it has already moved from the closure 60%, and from this news release for about 75%, and from the highs it's down around 85%. So the chances of so the likelihood of drawing this back into this range a little bit is quite high according to me, because no matter how the news, obviously it depends on the magnitude of the news, but I think price never really moves down or up in a straight line. It has to deals back up into liquidity, or deal down to some liquidity, and then start to decide on its momentum further. But so if you go on this weekly chart, so this is a proof of concept video. So I'm just trying to take I'm taking a demo long in here. This is not liquid enough for me to take a long in here in this particular stock. So I'll just buy something in here to actually see what happens in future. So if we buy this at 1,000 quantity just on a demo, and we'll just keep up a stop in this area. So we'll keep a stop at about 397 area, below the 400 figure. So so how much is it though? So if you can see, it is about 18% down from our entry. So and the target would be around this area. The first target would be around this area. So just to discuss this faster, so you can see this base in here which has been left unfilled, and this is the little tag in here which the price is feeding off of. So I think this can draw back in, because how thin it has moved into our area. So we could sit in here, draw back, maybe like come in a little bit deeper, but overall I think it will first come into this area and then sort of decide what it wants to do with it. So I do understand this is a liquid stock, and I do think that it can make its way into here, possibly here. This is a little bit of a thicker liquidity, as you can see, more base around it than this area. So but I think the nature of the movement into it is quite good for me to take an entry, which I do on intraday basis and probably swing basis in FX. So just wanted to keep this trade as a proof of concept and see what happens. So current I think we'll get something out in here. So let's call it, if I entered for 1,000 quantity, I will enter let's call it 60% or 600 quantity in here, and I think we can draw into this area further. This is an okay level, but it also again depends on how the price moves up into that level. So but I do think eventually it will make its way into this 1,080 area. Reason is that, so this was a major break that was moving us about this whole range, and we never really stalled really much in here. So this represents a little bit of a thicker liquidity, but this is something that I think it has a high probability. I think if you go to take it live, I would look for a much liquid stock, like let's see, like I bought a very low risk position in this Adani port area. So you can see I think I bought some in here or in here. Same concept, very thin run through these little nuggets in here and through into this deeper liquidity, very thick liquidity in here. If you go on a monthly chart, you can see much clearly. So the likelihood of price drawing back into is quite high, and I got out in this area just below that wick or something in here. So you can see filled the gap quite quickly, and now it's running above. So and one thing more is Adani End. So it also bounced off a little shelf area in here. So you can see below this, I was looking at it, but okay, it didn't come here, but something in here. So another move that I would like for live trade, but very low risk, would be something in like 134 area, which I missed. But I do think for this stock, so you can see it already showing a little bit of volatility right now. So you can see that drop, quite clean drop, and now it's showing a little bit of volatility with this 20% up move and then down and then putting up this. So I think it should fairly start working through this base, and I think we can overall come into this area. I'll call it, let's see, 250, let's call it, or would much rather prefer 270, but let's just mark 250 for now, and then decide sort of what it wants to do, because this area has just no liquidity to any extent really, as far as how it looks. So I think we can draw quite swiftly into this level, and this level is where it needs some sort of, we can call it sell liquidity in here to actually move us down again, or to decide what it wants to do next. So if we do start piercing through this level, holding above in here, then that's your key to say that, you know, it's going to all-time highs then. So let's see how this Adani, green works out in here. So looking for a first scaling in here, and let's see what happens in this. So yeah, it's 14 March, and this is a follow-up on the Adani green trade, and so now we're going to take something out of here. So if you go in here, just close the position, partial close. So we'll close, since it has moved 50%, so we'll close about 700 quantity. There you go. And so this is just a follow-up video. You know, we took a trade in here on 28th of Feb, 15 days ago, and now you can see a very nice move for 50% to the upside. I mentioned that we should take something out in here. I tried, but as you can see how illiquid this stock is, just kept moving. This could have been to the bottom side as well. That's why I didn't take any live trade in this one. So I still think that you know, this consolidation or this move down today, I think, is a function of this run exhausting itself, given that it's not hitting much on this daily scale. But if you go on this 1 hour, so yeah, something is available at 760 area, but overall I'm thinking 1080. But given that, also keeping in mind that how thin this has ran, I think we could come back into the range, chill, might even hold at 646. We'll have to see. Now the stop will, you know, come at break even. The stop initially was actually open just below in this area, I guess, somewhere in here at 374. Entry was at 484, and so we had to take something out at 599. So when this apex got formed, or this liquidity base got formed with this move up into this area, the stop came below that low, just so that we don't take a full stop on this one. If we drew traded below at that point in time, then I would have thought that we'll move a little bit deeper. But nonetheless, a very nice trade, a very nice proof of concept video, but I want to still see what happens. And let's see, just following on the monthly chart. So you can see, I explained earlier, you know, this is hitting a tag, which is a nice probability area to me. You know, now one might ask, you know, why not this area, or why possibly not this area? The reason simply for me being that when price runs extensively, that's the most vulnerable point to make a trade. So this is your monthly chart. So if we just only take a look at this monthly chart, so none of these run looks like quite exhaustive to me, but these two candles do. So the more blunt end candles, or the less the wick, the more it shows me the weakness or in the price action. So very little volatility in here. It's still just a move down, as you can see. I mean, obviously if you see this one day chart, so very thin on the bottom end, but you can see overall we still reacted to some levels in here. Obviously, I mean, there was news regarding this stock, so it moved quite extensively. So, but just pointing out the vulnerabilities in the price action to see if we could enter at the thinnest point in the market and take it back in the range. So this is what I drew pretty much on all assets and time frames. So I think this is nice, but we'll see. I think overall we can make our way into this 1080 area, but I think it will take a fair bit of time. I think it will have to contend with this area, 840, or let's call it 880 area first. It will give its pullback, and then we'll have to see how this one goes. But I think no need to stretch this video out more. But if you just take a look at this enterprises, so you can see this shelf top, which is picking up liquidity from this area. So we picked up liquidity from here, then moved us down, then make a new low, comes back and reloaded on this liquidity. So now this move down would be in control. So when this move down begins to fail and shift, that's how we're going to deliver to this side, to this 2340 area, or possibly into this what released us in this area. I think this would be a highly responsive point at 3400, but we'll have to see. And what else? So this is Adani Ports. This is one of, obviously I pointed out, this is one of the brilliant trades that would have been actually mind-blowing if I held through it, but nonetheless. So this was 68% from this area. You can see the thing is same, so weakness into strength. So the more the price move, the weaker it gets. So it hitting this structure. So in this a fair amount of liquidity. So at this point is this run down is weak. So it hits some strength from this area and then draws right back. And so this is the most vulnerable point for us to be taking an entry and managing through it. So that's that. But don't have much to say right now. It can go wherever it wants. I don't know. We still do have some weakness in some of these stocks. So I do think this stock, Adani Transmission, can make its way down into 480. Power was actually very nice. It was actually the best, but I didn't take it. I was keen to take it if it would have made a retest, but it didn't. So nice 57% move from this, and pretty nice. You can see same sort of structure in here. So weakness into some of the strength. So drew back in. I think this is done for now.